Hi. Okay, so starting with coffee. Before we begin, I appreciate nobody likes a long preamble, and I'm not doing that, but we do need to cover a certain number of points before we get going, just to save time later on. So, number one, when you first start looking into coffee making, coffee grinding, all that sort of thing, you will almost certainly be starting from as far as the videos you look at, will be coming from the perspective of professional coffee roasting. That doesn't apply. Okay, the purpose of good coffee roasting is to get the flavour profile that you want and then to be able to replicate it time after time after time after time. For you and me, as amateurs starting off, put all that to one side. Okay, you want to keep things as simple as possible and with a minimum of outlay, because this is supposed to be fun. All right, so things like burr grinders and professional coffee roasting machines and all that sort of thing, yes, perhaps one day, but in the short term, forget it. All right, all you need to roast coffee at home is a wok or a frying pan, the coffee beans, and a grinder. Now, in terms of choosing the right coffee beans, let's just have a very brief word in a very simple way about what type of coffee bean to use, right? First of all, Arabica is a strain or a type of coffee. Robusta is another one, which you will come across regularly. And within those types of coffee, there are lots and lots of different strains within that. And again, I'm not being complicated about it. You know, I'm sure the phraseology can be changed and looked at from a different point of view. I'm not trying to be scientific about it, but in general, the two types of coffee you're going to come across most often is Arabica and Robusta. Arabica is the one that has lots and lots of different flavours and a good flavour profile. Robusta has different flavours depending on what type it is, but predominantly it's a little bit cheaper and has lots more caffeine in it. Okay, so if you're starting off, I'll give it to you straight off the bat. Go with 100% Arabica, and personally, I would say Brazilian Santos, 100% Arabica. You know, whatever you make, it ain't going to be horrible. So that's where I started, and that's what I've stuck with for a time. And I've obviously tried different coffee beans and so on and so forth. But to start off with, Brazilian Santos. There you are. Okay, place to start. Now, in terms of cost, I pay £27 delivered for 5 kilos. And 5 kilos does me for about 6 or 8 months, typically. And if you want to compare it to the cost of buying coffee, I think that most people who like coffee will spend typically, just in the supermarket, say between £4 and £5 for a 250 gram pack, which does them a week or so. So there you are. That makes it whatever it is, between 16 and roughly 16 to £20 a kilo, and I'm paying £27 for 5 kilos and roasting it myself. In a forthcoming video, if there's enough likes to this video, I will roast a batch of coffee in real time and show you. Okay? But for now, that's coffee in the sense of the roasting element. Keep it simple. Don't spend money. Get started. Yes, I appreciate lots of people say, oh, try a popcorn maker and oh, do this and oh, do that. Yeah, they all work. That's great. Yeah, but just use what you got. Get started. Again, if you're trying to get the maximum out of the coffee, what you'll be doing is getting the coffee bean, all right, roasting it till you get a light roast, putting that batch to one side. Get another batch, roast it to a medium roast, nice and even, and then put that to one side. And then get another lot and roast it to a dark roast, and then put that to one side. And then blend them so that you get the full flavour profile of that particular coffee bean, and then you can adjust it so you've got more of the dark and less of the light, or however it is you like it, till you get your coffee right. Okay? Or you can chuck it in a wok and stir it and get an uneven roast, but keep an eye on it and just basically stop when you think you should. And soon you'll get the hang of it. See what I mean? So, yeah, keep it simple, and that's where I would start. Now, we will talk in future, again, subject to people actually want to know, about different methods of then producing the coffee from the beans that you've made. But for now, I think that's enough. And if you think there's a practical help in what I've told you so far, give us a like, and then I'll know, okay, fine, it's worth spending another 20 minutes putting a video up about whatever the next stage is. In this case, it's going to be roasting, and then it'll be grinding, and then it'll be actually making the coffee. But ultimately, keep it simple and build from there, rather than trying to go into it from the point of view of being some sort of professional and thinking you're going to pick it up straight away. It's just, yeah, you could do, but I think you won't get the enjoyment out of it that you would do if you just start from the scratch and begin. Okay, thank you very much for your time. Speak to you soon.